Old Ballantrae is something we've covered to death on this channel. Literally, we've done all of them. We've done the no age table, we've done the 10-year-old, and we've done the 15-year-old. So you'd be forgiven for thinking, well, surely there's nothing else to cover. And you would be right if I were a mere mortal. But I am not. Okay, seriously, I'll stop that now. Many months ago now, I visited Tomintoul. And I did a really stupid thing where we were doing filming for the company that I no longer work for. They've never requested those files, interestingly enough. I am just literally waiting on them, asking for them at this point. But as part of that, we did this stupid thing where, like, we travelled by train there and back from Edinburgh. Now, anyone who, if you want to just go and Google that journey that we took, we had to set off first thing in the morning. It was 4 hours on the train to get there. Another hour to drive to the distillery, so that's 5 hours travel before we even got started. We only had 3 hours in the distillery to film before we had to get the last train back again. Because the last train was something like 7 o'clock in the evening. It was like ludicrously early. So we were like, okay. Now then, I did this because it's the stupidest reason. It's the stupidest reason, but I was such a shill. I was trying to save the company money. Because I was like, well, an overnight hotel, that's going to cost a lot extra. It's just going to add, like, the return on investment of this project. That's stupid. Because the company owned the fucking Dome. If you own the Dome, you can afford a hotel for the night. But I was stupid. And I was like, no, I won't add this additional expense onto the company. So I will break myself and the 2 cameramen that I am having to put through this on an utterly ludicrous journey to the heart of fucking Speyside and back in the same bastard day. Oh, I've got a pain. Oh, you know, now I say that out loud, what the fuck was I doing? I just booked a hotel. Anyway. Oh, it was also my first time going to Speyside. It was fucking gorgeous. It's absolutely delightful. What the fuck was I doing? Anyway. You know, my old bosses used to watch this. If they're watching this today, you're welcome, by the way. Anyway. So, I need a minute. I don't often corpse on these, but when I do, I do. Professional. I'm not professional. So... as part of the text, I mentioned they were saying, "Oh, have you tried Tomintoul before?" I was like, "Yeah, I've done a fair few Tomintoul's. They're really nice." And they were like, "Oh, what's your favourite?" And I was like, "Old Ballantrae," and they were all kind of like, "You mean the 12-year-old, right?" And I was like, "No, the Old Ballantrae. I really like the Old Ballantrae," and clearly nobody else had ever said that. And I don't know why. And actually, I have noticed, I was mentioning depending on when I release these, in what order, because I'm doing this out of sync filming-wise, either I have already mentioned, or I will mention in the future, that I've had an influence on people's buying habits in the past, in akin with other YouTubers as well. And I don't big it up. I don't use that as, like, leverage. Like, I don't take handouts from companies or anything like that. They don't tend to approach me, to be fair, which is probably for the best, because, you know... But I have noticed a fair few people digging the Old Ballantrae off the back of my incessant chatter about it. So as a parting gift, because of the utterly ludicrous thing that I was doing that day, I was gifted this. We're about 8 minutes into the video or something now, aren't we, before we get to the meat and potatoes of this. This is Old Ballantrae new make. Oh yeah, I own this. I'm very excited to have this as well. I've got some cracking stuff on this shelf. I'm not going to big myself up or anything. I'm just going to say I've got some lovely whiskies on this shelf. This is one of the things that I'm most excited about owning. And I'm not even kidding. Like, Fun fact, they only make Old Ballantrae for a few weeks of the year, and whilst we were visiting, they were making this, so this was fresh off the stills when I visited. It's had a few months since then. And we're in for a treat. I'm in for a treat, you're just going to watch. Yeah. But, it's clear, duh, because it's not seen any wood yet. I would love, at some point, to like buy a cask of Old Ballantrae, because again, it's such just an underrated whiskey. It really is, and I think it really genuinely does deserve a lot more love. It's no secret that I put it forward for a couple of categories for the Oswars. Didn't get picked, but I mean, maybe that's just because a lot of people just haven't tried this whiskey. I don't know, but I think as soon as anybody does, they'll fall in love with it. Because there's just a lot happening here. On my new work, I made sure to buy a bottle of this in because I can talk about it and because I do think it's a genuinely good product. And everyone that I've given it to so far have been intrigued by it because they're like, wait, what? This isn't Laphroaig. This is even from where Laphroaig is made. And I'm like, no, it's not. But if you like that kind of a thing, this is hitting a lot of the same notes and it's doing some really interesting stuff at the same time. So this is very much more of a souvenir episode than anything else, but I thought this would be fun to share. I thought this would be an intriguing little kind of look behind the curtain, because now we really have done kind of the birth to the death of this. I did ask if they were ever planning on releasing a 21-year-old, and all I got was a maybe. So that could be an exciting development in a few years, who knows? But anyway. It's so creamy. It's like... it reminds me of... So my dad would always make... Well, he used to always make... partly because we didn't have a microwave. He used to always make porridge on the hob. It makes a huge difference in terms of like the texture, in terms of like the flavour. Yeah, you can microwave porridge. You can microwave a lot of things. It's so much better on the hob, and it's not that difficult. Oh, I should start making myself porridge again in the mornings. It's a lovely thing to have to like get you started for the day. It's relaxing too. I enjoy the process. Anyway, it's not relevant. Not relevant. There's a porridge contest in Carsbridge called the Golden Spurtle. Did you know that? Been meaning to go sometime. But this is like you made porridge on the hob and then went, I'm going to tip a bit of smoky whiskey in that. But the smoke on this, even though it's more, I almost want to say subdued, which is bonkers, because it should be front and centre. But there's this just beautiful kind of luscious oaty creaminess that comes through, and it's more aromatic than anything else. It's herbal, it's creamy. There's a smoke. Obviously, there's a smoke to it. It's brand new. It's new Old Ballantrae. It's a weird... It's new Ballantrae. There we go. There's floral notes. It's heathery. It's buttery. There's unctuousness of dairy about the aroma on this. It's inviting. It does not give away that it's 68.1 fucking %, and it's peated like Laphroaig on fucking acid. It's just wonderfully creamy and inviting as a nose, and I have nothing more to say to you other than that. It's a wonderful, wonderful smelling liquid. In its raw form, you get to see a lot of what the base distillate is about. There's smoke, but it's not front and centre. There's an element of iodine about it, but it's not front and centre. It's fruity. There's raspberries. There's a little bit of nuttiness to it. It's a little creamy. It's got a wonderful mouthfeel because obviously it's high proof. It's going to be a bit more viscous anyway. But it's almost like some kind of bizarre elixir made by a forest. With a little lick of smoke, just to kind of keep you interested. despite the strength, it doesn't seem like rocket fuel. Despite what it is, it doesn't seem overbearing. It's much more nuanced and almost a little shy about itself. Then we're going to bring a bit of water to the party and see what that does. Straight away the smoke's woken up. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a smoky whiskey. Sorry. Well, it's not a whiskey, but you understand. It will be a smoky whiskey one day. I could age this. I could do a teeny tiny distillation of this. Not a distillation, a teeny tiny... Yeah, I can't be bothered. As nice as it is, I wouldn't want to risk it, to be honest. Leave it to the pros. A beautiful, fatty smoked bacon. It's still got that rich creaminess, that kind of butteriness, but then there's this beautiful kind of dry, woody smoke coming through as well. And it's quite herbal. It's quite herbal. Sage, rosemary. I'm so happy I have this. I really am. They should start selling this shit. Because I'd probably buy more. Oh man. There's the beginnings of a little bit of a honey sweetness coming through. Kind of bright summery fruitiness is still there. Raspberry and strawberry come through. There's the faintest little, smoked sea salt. There's a salinity to it. There's a bit of a smoke to it. But again, it's not too powerful. It's not over the top. It's a little junipery. There's something just of a pine forest about this. And all the while, it just remains unctuous and buttery and creamy. It's an absolute fucking delight. Prior to this, the best new make I ever tried was Lindor's Abbey. Lindor's Abbey, you have had your crown well and truly taken off you, and I'm sorry, but Christ alive. It's fucking delightful. It just is. And I would hope there's a few cocktail geeks out there that are kind of like, that sounds like I could do something with that. Pest to Tomintoul Distillery to start releasing the stuff, because, I mean, it's worth a punt. Certainly. It's absolutely worth a go. And I, for one, want to be able to replenish my stocks of this at some point, because I had to go through hell and high water to get the damn stuff to begin. I mean, I didn't know I was going to get it at the time, but even so. But it's bloody lovely. And it's... If I didn't already know how the story ends with this, it would be a good sign of things to come. As it is, I know what it's going to be, and I know it's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much for watching, and do join me next time, where I'll be drinking something else.